Today we're out here on the track because we're going to be talking about a man named Eric Liddell. For those of you that are not familiar with Eric, there was a movie back in 1981 called Chariots of Fire that was about Eric and his performance in the 1924 Olympics. Eric was the son of Scottish missionaries to China, and he was actually born in China. And when he was of school age, he and his brother were sent back to Scotland for their education. Eric was very athletic and competed in rugby and track and field. He eventually went to the University of Edinburgh and still participated in those sports. Prior to the Olympic Games in 1924, he qualified for the Olympic team, and he was qualified for the 100-meter dash. However, Eric was a very devoted Christian, and he had a particular conviction that the Lord's Day was to be a day of rest. And sometime before the Olympic Games, he found out that the 100-meter dash preliminaries were going to be held on Sunday. So he had a decision to make. Would he yield his convictions, or would he hold fast to his convictions? I have to think that he might have considered this verse as he was making his decision. 1 Corinthians 9:24. Do you not know that in a race all runners run, but only one receives the prize? So run that you may obtain it. Every athlete exercises self-control in all things. They do it to receive a perishable wreath, but we an imperishable. Well, Eric decided that he was not going to run in the 100 meters. So he told the Olympic Committee that he was going to be unable to run. And you can imagine their response. They tried to persuade him to run for love of country, for the glory of God. But he wouldn't change his mind. So they came up with another plan. They thought, okay, let's have Eric run the 400 meters, and then Harold Abrahams could take his place in the 100 meters. Well, to make a long story short, Eric won the 400-meter dash. He not only won the gold, but he also set an Olympic and world record. And Harold Abrahams took the gold in the 100 meters. Following this, he became quite a star in the UK. He spoke in places all over England and the UK. It was a good opportunity. People would come that normally would not come to hear a Christian speak, and he would present the gospel at these meetings. And now there came another time in his life, similar to this one, where he had to make a decision. In 1925, just a year after that gold, he also had a strong conviction that he was supposed to go to the mission field. And now he would have to give up all that fame, fortune, all these speaking opportunities that he had. One could easily justify staying in the UK and having these opportunities to lead people to Christ, right? But he felt the Lord calling him to the mission field in China. Well, again, he followed the Lord. He went to the mission field. He served in the mission field for almost 20 years. And he died a martyr in an internment camp. I think about that scripture. In the first case, he won the prize. He won the gold medal. But in the second case, I'd say he won the prize imperishable. So that brings two questions to my mind. First, if he had not followed his convictions and run the 100 meters, would we remember him today? If he would have went ahead and conceded and ran that 100 meters, would we remember him today? I don't think so. And then, of course, personally, I have to think myself, I was a track athlete from 6th grade through college. We all know what it means to go to the Olympic Games. Everybody's got that little dream, like being a pro athlete or something. If I had that opportunity, would I give it up? Or would I make some kind of, try to reconcile something so that I could have my cake and eat it too, basically? So I guess that's how I leave it, What would I do in Eric's case?